So very good evening, everybody. I'm Shruti Shah, a member of AMA PR committee. And on behalf of AMA, I welcome you all on this wonderful evening. We are here to have some good knowledge, some good insights from a great series, which is named as the SHEROES, the She Heroes. So this is the third session in the row, and first two had a wonderful response, the wonderful insights we all shared. Today is the last session in this series, and I would like to share a glimpse of first two sessions here with you all.
I think it's while it is great to be optimistic, but you have to be more realistic. It is very important to build that one-to-one relationship. That builds trust.
To cry and discuss your problem. Half of your problems are solved when you discuss it out.
They were very skeptical about it, that whether they should allow us.
I think it's while it is great to be optimistic, but you have to be more realistic. It is very important to build that one-to-one relationship. That builds trust.
To cry and discuss your problem. Half of your problems are solved when you discuss it out.
They were very skeptical about it, that whether they should allow us to do something like that. But our fathers,
that we need to be groomed. He's like, of course, you guys are trained from day one. As soon as you're out of
driving with my dad somewhere, and he just asked me like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your 5 year?
Okay, so quickly I would introduce our panelists today. So the first introduction, I would like to give the name of the company to which everyone would very easily recollect, because I think majority of the audience is Gujarati. And again, we are sitting in Gujarat, we're sitting in Ahmedabad, we are known as food-loving people, food-loving state. So help me welcome Ms. Shivangi Hadwani, who is from Gopal Namkeens Limited. And to introduce Shivangi, I would say by qualification, she's an architect. But she chose certainly to build beautiful things, but over building, she is building the culture, she is building the human resources, and she's building the human capital of her company. She is heading the staff department there in the company. And her role there is to bring the transformation in the organization, considering the gap that is there between the older generation and the new generation, from no technology to a technology-driven organization. I welcome you, Shivangi. Who likes styling and fashion? I think every one of us. Though we don't say it publicly, but yeah, inside of us, everyone wants to look beautiful, everyone wants to look stylish. So today we have a very interesting profile with us, Nikki Joshi. She started her career as interior designer, and then she turned into a fashion stylist. She has worked with a lot of celebrities in Gujarati and Hindi cinema and serial industries. One of the very famous movie which also went for a national award, Helaro, the entire styling, the colorful styling which was done by her. She has also done a lot of movies, a lot of series, a lot of advertisements at national level. And she is also the styling guide for many of the celebrities. So help me welcome her here. And the third panelist today we have, she is architect Nikita Joshi. It's almost more than 8 years she is in this business. She has a brand called Marty, and as the name suggests, her core vision is to design homes or design spaces. Those are close to culture, those are close to nature, and beautiful places from 500 square feet to more than 10,000 square feet carpet area she has been designing. In my words, I would like to say that being an architect, being an interior designer, she is converting houses into homes and making people living their dream come true. I welcome her on behalf of all of us. And last but not the least, the name, the man who does not need any introduction from my end. Everybody knows Sanjay sir very well, so I would not take too much of time introducing Sanjay sir. This persona is known to everyone. Yes, so let us start the core of the session
Hello.
now.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti, for helping us with the introduction. And when you introduce very elaborately, the expectation of the audience enhances. So we have to all adhere to whatever introduction you gave, right? So I got a very interesting quote. Once an entrepreneur said, "An entrepreneur tends to bite off a little more than he can chew, hoping he'll quickly learn how to chew it." Further, he says, "Even though I don't always know what I'm doing, but I must be confident in my intelligence and ability to figure it out." So most people are too scared to even try, and that's what separates entrepreneurs from everyone else, right? So entrepreneurship is neither an art or a science, it's a practice. And I think it's a mindset to be an entrepreneur. So the entrepreneurial landscape in India is witnessing a remarkable transformation led by dynamic women who are breaking stereotypes and setting new benchmarks. In current times, the contribution of these women are not only shaping the country's business terrain, but also inspiring countless others to pursue their dreams to face formidable challenges. These successful women entrepreneurs have proved that sky itself has its limit. The landscape of women entrepreneurship in India is a testament and indomitable spirit and innovative prowess. In the arena of Indian entrepreneurship, women are not just participants, they are the game changers and rewriting the rules of the games, one enterprise at a time. Today we are extremely glad with the extremely talented women entrepreneurs who have done extremely well, and they are all set to get an inspiring role to everyone. Thank you, Shivangi. Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Nikita, for accepting our invitation to be there today in the panel discussion. In fact, on the lighter side, if I can say that we are today fortunate to have roti, kapda and makan, which has slightly been tweaked and changed to times. Today we have Gopal Nasta snacks, represented by Gopal Snacks. We've got good fashionable clothes designed by Nikki and good makan with good architecture designed by Nikita. A big round of applause for all of them. Yeah, so let's start the conversation. And as you know, one of the great motivational speakers says, Simon, dream big, start small, but most of all started. So I would like to start from Shivangi. If you could tell us about your journey, professional journey.
Hello. Hi, I'm Shivangi. By profession, I'm an architect. My journey in Gopal Snacks started right after my engagement. When I got engaged, I was in my 3rd year of architecture. So right after my college, around 5 to 6 p.m., in the second half, I would visit the factory every day. And that is how my journey started. And my first project in Gopal was designing and executing its corporate office building. So then after wedding, I joined the factory. I and Raj used to go to factory together, and we come back together since last 5 years. So later, after designing the corporate building, I started looking after the packaging, the marketing, branding, developing the sales backend team, corporate HR, recruitments, and there are many more still functions that are yet to be learned. And it is in progress. Thank you.
Great, great. Short and sweet and excellent one. Yeah, Nikita, why don't you speak about your journey? Yeah. So we got two Nikis now, right? Yeah. So I have to say Nikita and Nikki. Okay. सब माइक की बोलती बंद हो गई है. हाँ.
Yeah, so good evening everyone. After my graduation of architecture in 2014, I started with my professional journey, and I used to work with Jagrut and Partners. I worked there for about a year and a half. And after my working from there, I joined Jayesh Haryani, architect, with the company name of I&I. And over there, I just worked for about 4 to 5 months until when I received a call from one of my friend who wanted to design a salon for himself. So at that time, all I knew is I can just lead, and I had no idea how to execute the designs that we used to draw on paper. So, but as I said, I just knew that I can lead anything given to me, and I always knew that I had the right balance within myself and to balance people of different minds on and off site. So I just took up that work, and I started with small, as I said, started with an area of about 400 to 500 square feet, and today we are designing spaces, residential projects which are more than 10,000 square feet. But then, as I said, that you just have to begin, and every journey needs a starting step, and most important of all step is the first step. So with that belief, I started with my own practice in 2016, and with a belief that if you can, if you can understand the design and resonate to clients' need, they'll be touched. So with this belief, we just went on, and we are just going on today. Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah, Nikki.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So my journey was little long because I have studied BSc with zoology, as I want to go for the research things, but due to some reasons I couldn't go for it. Then I did, because maybe I was a creative kida, so I went to the interior designing. I did like 2 years for interior designing practice also, everything. Then I shifted to Mumbai. And because, yeah, I have a son and who was literally 9 months old, and the reason I couldn't continue my interior designing, so, there are some people who can't sit at home. And I have started my fashion things, which I was really interested since my college time. And I did my first exhibition in Mumbai. After that, after some personal reasons, when I have really established my business as a fashion designer, I have to shift back to Ahmedabad due to some personal reasons. And from 2017, I can say, yeah, 2016, as a single mother, I have joined this industry, which was really difficult for me. And so since 2017 was the year when I got my first movie. I design really, I don't know which kind of clothes I have designed, but people got to know that someone is there in Gujarat who can design clothes for movies. Till then, no one was there who was designing the clothes. And luckily, I got Hellaro, which was my second movie, where people got to know, okay, yes, someone is there who can manage the field also and who can design also. And then, yeah, my journey was started, and it's still going. And I'm working as a fashion stylist. I design clothes for brides. I'm a wedding styling also. I do wedding styling also. I do style for advertisement, movies, then if you say fashion, I'm there.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, Nikita, there's a question for you. You were having a good job in Vitan Architects, and suddenly you thought of starting a business of your own. So, what was the apprehension and fear you had here? Because usually an entrepreneur will always have a fear. If I start, ये हो सकता है, ये मैं करूँगा तो ये हो सकता है. So, what were the apprehensions you had in your life when you started?
Frankly speaking, sir, I had no fears because I was more excited. I was like, finally, I could put up my ideas and my soul into what I had been practicing since my college, since whatever years we went on. So I was more excited to put that up and also take it up as a challenge, as something that I could address on my own, like whatever it is, maybe the pressure, the failure, the success, whatever it came along. And to me, it was like an opportunity, whatever I got in. And as I said, I mean, as an opportunity, like I always believed that the most expensive thing in the world is a lost opportunity. So I couldn't afford not taking something which came to me. And yeah, that's how.
So,
I mean, fear, the proportion of fear versus thrill would be 0.5 to 10%.
So there's a learning that there is no fear and you get success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nikki, if not fashion designing or stylish, what was the plan B? You had any plan B? कि ये नहीं होगा तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा?
ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बच्चा संभाल लूँगी, बड़ा कर दूँगी.
So that was not a fear to you. Okay, great. Now coming to Shivangi. Shivangi ने join किया where her father-in-law had this business. So सबने ये बोला होगा ना, ये तो घर की बहू है, इसको क्या टेंशन करने का, right? तो how do you manage to get respect from the people being in the senior most position? है ना कि अपने आ जाते हैं और अपने बोलते हैं ऐसा करने का वैसा करने का, and then people start accepting you, or if they are not accepted, what did you do to get them accepted? कि yes, I am there to change your life or I am going to contribute something. So what was that you did?
मैंने एज अ सीनियर लीडर ज्वाइन नहीं किया था, एज अ इंटर्न ज्वाइन किया था कि मुझे कुछ नहीं आता, प्लीज कुछ सिखा दो. सबके पास ऐसा ही जाने का कि प्लीज कुछ सिखा दो, कुछ नहीं आता. सबके पास जाके सिर्फ ऐसा ही बताने का कि क्या हेल्प कर सकती हो आपकी, बताओ. कुछ आता है सीनियर लीडर के जैसे ज्वाइन करो तो वो भगा देंगे सबके. हम यहाँ 20 साल से बैठे, आप तो अभी आए हो. तो कमिंग इनटू द एफएमसीजी बिजनेस वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी कि मुझे वो स्केल ही समझ में नहीं आता था कि 80 टन्स ऑफ ऑयल कमिंग इन 1 करोड़ पैकेट्स गोइंग, जिस स्पीड से रॉ मटेरियल आता है उसी स्पीड से जाता है. जब वो स्केल की बात करते हैं तो स्केल ही समझ में नहीं आया कि घर पे तो कितना वो घर का स्केल और ये इसका स्केल बहुत ही अलग होता है. तो वो इनिशियली समझ में ही नहीं आता था. पर इतने लोग हैं, सबकी एक्सपेक्टेशन समझना. वी हैव अ फैमिली ऑफ अराउंड 3,000-4,000 पीपल, तो एवरीबडी लुक अप टू मी विद सम एक्सपेक्टेशंस. तो उनकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस का समझना इनिशियली इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड बिफोर वेडिंग पापा जी टोल्ड मी कि बेटा रोटली बनावता नहीं आवड़े तो चालશે પણ આપણે બિઝનેસમાં આવવાનું. That sentence looked very lucrative to me initially, but I learned to make roti in 7 days. And it has been 7 years I'm in the business and I still feel કે મને હજી આ નથી આવડતું, પેલું નથી આવડતું, ક્યારે આવડશે. પપ્પાના બધા ડાઉટ્સને બધું શેર કરીએ તો એમનું એક સિમ્પલ લોજિક છે કે બિઝનેસને ટાઈમ આપો, બિઝનેસ એની જાતે તમને બધું શીખડાવશે. એન્ડ મમ્મી વોઝ ઓલ્સો ઇન્વોલ્વડ ઇન ધ બિઝનેસ ફ્રોમ day one. In 1994 we started the company. She was involved in the business from day one. And she has her own way of simplifying things. She considers this business as a large kitchen and a large family. So it is very simplified for them because they are in the business from day one. So it is difficult initially, but with time only we get adjusted and all the fears are lost. People start accepting us slowly.
But good, it's more difficult than making roti, ना? रोटी बनाना अच्छा रहता है.
रोटी बनाना तो बहुत इजी है. और मेरी दादी हमेशा मुझे कहती थी कि आर्किटेक्ट છો ને રોટલી ગોળ ના થાય તો ના જ ચાલે. આર્કિટેક્ટ જો રોટલી તો ગોળ થવી જ જોઈએ.
Good, a round of applause here for the confidence they have, right? Now coming to the creative people, of course we all are creative, but specific who are into the creative industry, right? So creativity में ऐसा होता है ना, sky is the limit. When you start thinking you are having a limit. So you meet a client and the client says अपने पास budget ही नहीं है, ठीक है? तो आप कैसे सोचते हो creativity? How do you compress your thinking? What is the formula you have? Because I also want to learn that, being in the creative world. Because you might be going to a client and he says, oh, you are thinking अभी ताजमहल बनाना है और उसके बाद जगह है लाल दरवाजा का, तो how do you manage it? Your creativity.
Firstly, sir, it is important to understand your own mind, and then only you can convince the client for some creative things to be bought in, and some art or some wall painting or some texture to be particularly done. Because until you are convinced by yourself, you can't get that thing into their head. So that was the first thing, and then what used to happen, and also apart from work, apart from the functional needs that we used to provide to the clients, it was necessary for us to understand their own passion and their own interests, and to have that emotional connect as well, because ultimately they have to dwell into that space and they have to also have a connection as we have. So that's how we started incorporating some art pieces or having to do something creative which was other than going on regularly. And I would also like to share one incident. I mean, we were in China and we went there to buy import furniture for two of the families. And the family was of a father and a son, and both of them having individual bungalows and similar bungalows, but we had to design with different design intentions and different requirements. Because the father was nearly in his 70s and the son would be in his mid-30s or 40s. So we went there, and since we are talking about budget and balancing things, we went there, and the trip was for about 10 days. And for the initial 2-3 days, we decided to just roam around the city and explore the collection. And then, like, we had this thing in our head. We had some prerequisite list of furniture and things to be bought from there, of course, with that restrictive budget. So we went on our hunt, and we decided to buy a fancy dining table, because the client, the younger one, for the son, the dining room used to lead to all the other spaces of the house. So we decided to buy a unique dining table, which was, with the material, we decided to go with a piece of a wooden log, which could be easy in use with the polished material finish, and which could accommodate 10 people at a time. So we went on hunting for such table, and nearly for after roaming in China, and in China, however, I mean the departments of different furniture are so far apart from each other that once you leave the segment of sofas and once you reach into the chairs area, you will be forgotten that kahan pe wo sofa dekha tha, and you cannot just go back to that place. So after our long hunt and everything, we could finally come across a good dining table. And we finalized on that with the budget and negotiation, which went on for about 2 hours and everything. We finally could freeze upon one table. Now we finalized that, and it was done. Even we paid 70% of the advance which was to be done, and we booked the table. And then way back after the booking, after we finished that deal, finalized that, on our way back to the hotel, I saw that the client is still searching for the similar table in every store that was coming across the way. So I was literally kind of pissed off. I was like, we have got what we wanted, so we can look upon something else tomorrow. We don't need to again discuss the same thing the next morning. So, but then I was so pissed off, then I didn't even rattle on about that thing to him. I was like, theek hai, jo hoga, let us see, whatever he finalizes. So that was one thing. I mean, again the next day in the morning, we used to gather in the reception area, and then we used to again start for our selections and all. So when we gathered over there, to my surprise, I got to know that वहाँ पे जो coordinator था, जो translator हमारे साथ every day रहता था, he even fleed him away. The reason that he felt that कि हम कहीं पे भी जाते हैं ना, तो वो bargaining चलता है, तो he would be setting his own commission and everything. That which was hardly 1 or 2%, even if it would have been, and deal तो अच्छी खासी 20-30% discount मिल जाता था. But then still with his own mindset, he asked him to flee away. And then I was like, okay, now how will I manage? I was like, because there was so much of customization to be done for every furniture with respect to size, fabric and everything. So then I was like, okay, isme bhi abhi he has set his own thing. So yeah, this happens that you have to balance budget in every manner. I mean, creative thinking तो आता है, but then उसके पहले जो exercise खत्म करनी होती है, even that is a long way.
Yeah, so with due respect, you should appreciate that client. He might be from Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the reason. He teaches you a lot. He teaches you a lot. He teaches you a lot of lessons. So it is now said that when I go out of Ahmedabad and I want to behave like non-Ahmedabad, it's very difficult. Because you could take me out of Ahmedabad, but you can't take Ahmedabad out of me. Right? So you keep negotiating with people, yeah? Great experience. Yeah, Nikki, what about you? Aapka to, the industry is like that, there is no budget. Yeah?
I think, yeah, our industry, but otherwise also, you know, if I talk about ourselves, if we keep a budget के भाई मेरे को 50,000 में ये लेना है, but we goes to 70,000, or maybe we can't do that. So for us, for anyone, I think budget and liking things are totally different, because for us it's like, if we talk about the creative things, we have an open canvas to paint. When someone is giving you budget, it's good, but you just think like you have a canvas, you have like open sky to paint it, and then you just compose it. कि ओके अभी इतना बजट है, मुझे तो इतना दिखाना ही है, बिकॉज इट्स योर क्रिएटिविटी, यू कैन नॉट होल्ड इट, otherwise you are not a creative person from my side if I say. So it's like show whatever you want to show, you just find another way कि हाँ ये मैं ये बजट में इनके बजट में कैसे सेट करके दूंगी, तो मे बी आई हैव दिस थिंग कि ये मुझे लो बजट में मिल रहा है, आई कैन गो दैर, मतलब ये लोग यहाँ पे इसका लेबरिंग चार्ज अलग है, तो मैं यहाँ से उनको बनवा के दूंगी. सो मे बी क्रिएटिव सेटिस्फैक्शन भी मिलेगा एंड बजट भी संभल जाएगा. ऑफकोर्स 10% यहाँ वहाँ होता है, बट देन वो लोग भी, मतलब क्लाइंट इज ऑल्सो हैव दैट बजट कि हाँ उनको भी पता है कि ये होने वाला है. सो आई फील यू शुडंट कंट्रोल योर आर्ट फॉर द बजट थिंग.
Okay, so this happens when you're grown up. For the newcomers it becomes very difficult, right? You have to hold everything, right? And even the budget. So Shivangi, you take care of HR, right?
Not specifically only HR. I look after improvement in all the departments.
Okay. So what was the biggest challenge you faced when you started taking over the realm of the business? कि चलो अब business शुरू करते हैं, काम करना है.
Understanding the scale of the business was the biggest challenge for me.
Okay.
And the another challenge is कि we have a huge distribution network and lot of people are engaged in the business since years. तो जब कोई आके मिलता है तो वो हमें easily बोलता है केम छो बेटा, and we don't know that person. And it still happens after 7 years that they are into the business since last 20 years and I don't know. It can be a supplier, it can be a dealer. So maintaining personal relationship with everyone, कि उनको ऐसा ही लगना चाहिए कि I know them personally. Dealers है तो dealers have a personalized equation with other dealer. कोई मामा का बेटा है, कोई काका का लड़का है, तो वो सब equation समझना, इतने लोगों का mindset समझना, that has been a very big challenge and it is still ongoing.
Okay, great.
Understanding people and the mindset.
So dealing with people, again, human resource.
Yes, yes.
So that was the most difficult task, or still going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is a ongoing journey.
Ongoing one. So what about you? Any challenges, or you faced, okay, this is the biggest challenge which I am going to face in my company, or I have faced that when you started on your own?
Challenge again, so it was very, like, before addressing any challenge, it was important to stick to something, because if you are not sure about what you are doing, and then it might be a small thing, it might be a small portion of the house, and then with every project it has to have a different, you know, it has to have a different, some add-on to that should come up, because only then you also, it excites you also, it challenges you also. So that's how, I mean, I see my own challenges. And as they say that you can't see the calm water until you feel the waves. So it was very important to go through everything. I mean, challenges, it could be on site where you have to deal with laborers who are people who have physical abilities and everything, and on the other side you have clients who are coming with a polished mindset and they have their own skill of knowledge. So at times it was like on and off site you have to have that balance, but before all of that, before balancing them, it is very important to have your own mental tranquility, balance of your own. So I think the challenge is just that, to have a balance within yourself.
Great. Shivangi, this is your second generation business? Yes. So I would like to ask and also understand, for the sake of all the audience sitting here, what are those wisdoms you inherited from your first generation? Right? There may be some tips which they may not say and say, "Ki dekho ye mein wisdom de raha," aisa to nahi bolenge wo. But you have inherited this. Ki this is they are big because of this.
The three things that I admire the most and try to implement are first is focus, simplicity and discipline. पापा की लाइफ में कोई डिस्ट्रैक्शन ही नहीं है. भोपाल इज हिज ओनली लाइफ, मतलब कोई डिस्ट्रैक्शन नहीं है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली पूरा फोकस बिजनेस पे ही रहता है. तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट टू ग्रो. नेक्स्ट इज सिंप्लिसिटी. He wears his simplicity so naturally, like जो है वही बताना है, keep it real, don't fake it. And the third thing is discipline. रात को 9-10 बजे तो पापा सो जाएंगे, कुछ भी हो जाए. everybody knows कि विपिन भाई 10 बजे सो जाते हैं. तो early sleeping and early rising is a basic thing that I want to implement in my life. कि अगर रात को सो जाते हैं जल्दी तो कितनी सारी चीज़ें लिस्ट में से डिलीट ही हो जाती है. फ्रेंड्स डिलीट हो गए, आउटिंग डिलीट हो गया, ऑटोमेटिक डिलीट हो जाती है. दैट इज़ द बेसिक थिंग दैट आई वुड लाइक टू इम्प्लीमेंट इन माई लाइफ, जो अभी तो नहीं हो पा रहा है.
But slowly you will.
But this is the basic.
Yeah, great. So great people are simple, right? So I like you to confess a lot of things. Like, you know, it's said that you never lose in business. Either you win or you learn. What were your biggest failures here? सब अच्छी सक्सेस की बातें कर रहे हैं हम लोग, बट कुछ ऐसा होगा जो we failed here, and you can honestly confess that yes, this we failed and then we took over and we realized that we should have not done this. Right? In the last session, I'll just interestingly tell you that in last session we were talking to one of the entrepreneurs, very large company, and this boy was telling me that I failed was that I thought I knew everything and I entered the business, and then I realized, okay, I don't know anything. That was his biggest confession. He said that. So that was good that he understood very early that he doesn't know much things in life. Yeah. So what were your failures?
Failures, sir, thankfully again, not such big failures I have come across, but I think so even the smallest of the failures, if you do come across in your life at the early stage of your life, it is good. I mean, we always think ये नहीं होता, but now since I've passed on all those things, I think that it is good that it happened to me today. And it has now made me so strong that I feel that no matter what comes, I know. I mean, as they say, you know, that your behavior is what counts more than your knowledge, because there would be places where knowledge can fail, but behavior always handles. So, as I say that, I mean, no such big failure, but yeah, I mean, it's a journey. I mean, it's going on still.
What about you, Nikki?
I think मैंने तो बहुत ज़्यादा failures देखा है.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the only reason कि 5 या 6 साल में मैंने अपनी जो भी है मेरी करियर को ऐसे बूस्टअप कर दिया. I feel कि whenever you face failure things like in your life, वो तुम्हें हमेशा boost up देता है. So when I wanted to study for the research thing, my dad said no, you can't leave Ahmedabad. So that is the one thing I was fighting with him, कि no, I want to live, I want to go there. But again, there was also like, no, you can't go. Then again, when I did interior designing thing, my mom was very supported and she was like, okay, you just go for it, I'll support you. So then, of course, after marriage, I didn't get those kind of family. So वहाँ पे भी ऐसा होगा कि भाई तुझे जो करना है कर, but घर तो संभालना ही है. तू भले रात को 10 बजे आए, तुम्हें किचन तो क्लीन करना ही है. And I was like, okay, जबकि घर पे कभी कुछ किया नहीं था, but ठीक है. So then when I was handling my kid and I was shifted to Mumbai and again एक नया construction किया कि भाई अभी fashion में जाना है. I was handling my kid, I was handling my studio, I was handling the family and everything, but though it wasn't work out. उसके बाद when I shifted back to Ahmedabad and again scratch से शुरू की मेरी journey and my son was crying. He was 7 years old when I have started my career in this field. So I remember he was crying कि मम्मा please घरे रहने, boutique start करने, please don't go on shoot. And I remember on my first movie he got 104 fever because मैंने उसको छोड़ के कभी काम नहीं किया था. And I have decided also that I don't want to work in this field also because I can't leave my son. He is totally mama's boy and I'm totally his mother. So I don't know how, but one day he was like, okay, I just asked him, what will mama do if she'll not continue with this thing? And he was like, you open a boutique in Ahmedabad also. And Ahmedabad was totally changed after 8 years when I shifted back here. So, you know, every day I was crying, every day I was fighting, and every day I was feeling like, yaar, मैं मेरी life में fail हो गई. I can't do anything. And till today, I have that bit somewhere I feel like, you know, am I a good mother? And though, of course, I got married 2 years back to a person who is super supportive, and because of him only I'm here. So, you know, every day I'm asking myself, am I a good mother? Am I a good entrepreneur? Am I a good boss? Like, can I handle everything like nicely? And the answer is no, something is missing. So I think I'm always fighting and I always try to be a good person. I would love to be with my family, but I don't want to leave my work also. And I think this struggle is every woman in our country is struggling with this thing. And whoever is doing this, even she is a teacher, even she is doctor or whoever she is, I think salute to them.
Yeah, so that's the reason we salute the spirit of womanhood. Yeah. And AMA is celebrating this month as the Women's Month for that, yeah. Yeah, I could understand, I could also relate that, ki what are you coming from, yeah. So Shivangi, failures.
Failures, like Nikita said, there are no big failures in my life. I always look up to my in-laws ki તમે જે સ્ટ્રગલ કરી છે એવી સ્ટ્રગલ અમે નથી કરી ને આજ સુધી એવી કોઈ સ્ટ્રગલ જોઈ નથી. But recently we got separated from our uncle. At that time it was very challenging for us ki પહેલાં છે તો ઇનિશિયલી બહુ આમ સ્પેરમાં આપણો રોલ હોય. You are not in the lead role, you are on the side role.
Extra.
And suddenly the situation came that we have to take the lead now. We have to drive the sales now. If we don't drive, the business is dependent on that. So that moment was very challenging for us. At that moment, we didn't know what was primary sales, what was secondary sales, what was tertiary sales. And we were in the position, we had to design all the processes, the new software, SAP implementation was taking place. So that moment was very challenging, and those 2 years taught us what the previous 5 years could not teach us. So that way I think the failures or the challenging moments are the moments where you learn the maximum. And at that, आपने एक एग्जाम्पल सुना होगा कि अर्थक्वेक में हैंडीकैप लेडी है तो वो उठ के दौड़ के चली गई, पर that happened because the reserve force came out of her. similar things happen in us when the challenging situation comes in our life or we face failures. So failures are important to grow.
Okay, an interesting question. Since you have dealt with human resources, I say on the lighter side, without being biased, if you are given a choice of choosing between two candidates who are equally well qualified and equally well suited for the role of the organization, which one will you prefer, a male or a female candidate?
Depends on the role.
If the female candidate says that I'm not going to be there after 7:30.
No, our office timings are 6:30.
Achha. Good one. Yeah. So coming back to Nikita and Nikki, you being very young, you might have a lot of personal aspirations. So how do you balance work and your aspirations? How do you justify to both of them? And even it may go to Shivangi also. You may have your personal aspiration कि मुझे तो ये करना है, वो करना है, and then the business doesn't allow you to do that. So how do you balance it? Yeah.
नहीं पहला तो मैं कौन? My personal aspirations, actually all my to fulfill my personal aspirations, I have got the chance and the platform is provided by Gopal to fulfill all those aspirations. I am very much involved in the social activities, the CSR part of it. So I have actually got the platform to fulfill my personal aspirations, and we all four go to the factory together and come home together. So we don't have a clear line between the work and the personal life. So I think all my aspirations are
So you should give us all of us the picture of your कहते हैं ना वो हाथों की रेखाओं की, ठीक है? We will try to adopt that, right? Yeah. So coming back to a few last questions from you, is that what is the tip? Or before that, Nikki, you were mentioning me about the research which you do, like Hilaro. You were doing some research, and Hilaro was just not putting up the clothes on that actor, and it got nominated to National Award also. Yeah. So there is a process that you do a lot of research, and you were telling me about those 90s, some of the dresses which you are choosing. So can you please elaborate quickly on that? Because that was very interesting to know.
Yeah, so when we have started working on this film, Hellaro, even I can say about Kamthan also, though it's not that hit, but the process was similar. So during Hellaro, when I joined that project, I was the last person who was taking on board, and like literally the challenge was I have to customize more than 475 costumes in 28 days, and it was involving fabric, then print, then research, because it was about 1975. It wasn't about the recent time. So the thing we have started is like in 1975 में कौन सा fabric था, कौन से colors थे, कौन से print थी जो use होते थे, and then you have to start from scratch. So I went to Kutch for 2 to 3 days, and वहाँ पे छोटे छोटे जितने भी गांव थे, जितने भी जो भी लोग थे, हम लोगों को रोड पे जो लोग मिलते थे, I was talking to them, and how they style, which kind of colors they are wearing now and they were wearing, like the community were wearing. Because the thing is it was not about the thing we couldn't show, the other challenge was we couldn't show the proper particular community. So again the task was that I can't show that this is a particular community, I have to mix and match all the things. So the journey was started from there. I would love to share one experience. So definitely, as I was studying about the colors, and also I saw a group of people on a village, and I was really attracted to the color, and the colors was really nice, and I just clicked the picture, and then I came back to the shop when I was shopping. So then the group of ladies, they were literally came to the shop and वो लड़की को बाहर निकालो, and I'm like, what happened? उसने picture click किया है और they came with the good size of pebbles, it's like stones, and eat everything और मारो इसको क्योंकि हमारा picture उसने लिया है, and I had no idea which community was it. Then I got to know which was it, and then उसके बाद the real journey has started कि वो दुकान वाले के साथ में बैठी, and I'm like कि क्या हुआ क्या नहीं, and उन्होंने उनकी लैंग्वेज में कुछ बात की और फिर सॉर्ट आउट किया कि सारे पिक्चर्स डिलीट कर दो हमारे ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, एंड देन दे वर लाइक कि अगर ये वाले कपड़े पहने हो ना तो वो ये कम्युनिटी है, उनका कभी भी पिक्चर्स मत लेना, अगर ये पहना हो ना तो उनके आगे से सीधे सीधे गुजर जाना. तो देन ही लिटरली मेक मी अंडरस्टैंड कि कैसा होता है, क्या होता है. धीरे धीरे फिर बुक्स एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड देन वी हैव स्टार्टेड द प्रोसेस कि यहाँ पे मेरे साथ इतने ही दिन है, इतने दिन में ये कपड़े डाई करने हैं, भूल से भी ये कलर नहीं लेना है, देन द प्रिंट एंड एवरीथिंग. ओके, एंड फॉर द ऑथेंटिसिटी एंड अगेन द बजट थिंग, या सो अगर मैंने वो सारे कपड़े अहमदाबाद में स्टिच करवाए होते तो आई हैव बूस्ट अप द बजट लाइक एनीथिंग, जहाँ पे प्रोड्यूसर्स की वाट लग सकती थी. सो देन अगेन आई टुक द डिसीजन कि मैं वहीं पे कच्छ में ही कस्टमाइज़ करवाऊँगी ईच एंड एवरी क्लोथ्स. सो दैट वॉज द रीज़न, यू नो, द वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट रीज़न वॉज मुझे वहाँ की ऑथेंटिसिटी मिलेगी. यहाँ पे मुझे फैशन ट्रेंड वाला प्रॉपर फिनिशिंग कपड़ा मिलेगा, जो आई डिडंट वांट दैट बिकॉज द स्टोरी वॉज बिलोंग टू द विलेज एंड एवरीथिंग. सो देयर वॉज अ टाइम, देयर वॉज अ प्लेस कॉल्ड नखत्राना इन कच्छ. उसके वो गांव के सब घर में नॉट अ सिंगल हाउस वॉज लेफ्ट, वहाँ के A to Z घर में हल्लारों के कपड़े स्टिच हो रहे थे. एंड दे वर स्टिचिंग ऑल द क्लोथ्स जस्ट फॉर द ऑथेंटिसिटी. आई वेंट टू द वुमेन कि आई वॉन्ट लाइक आप ही स्टिच करो, क्योंकि वहाँ पे एक और भी चीज़ है कि लोग खुद के कपड़े खुद स्टिच करते हैं, क्योंकि वीमेन कांट गो आउट फॉर द थिंग्स. तो सबके घर पे मशीन है, सब खुद ही कपड़े स्टिच करते हैं. एंड आई लिटरली रिक्वेस्टेड दैम, वन ऑफ द ग्रुप, मतलब विमेन ग्रुप, दे वर लाइक के वी विल हेल्प यू, जितना हो सके हम आपको करके देंगे, बाकी आपको सारे घर घर में जाना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज इट वॉज अबाउट 200 ब्लाउजेज एंड आई थिंक 300 स्कर्ट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. सो सारे घर घर जाके हम लोगों ने लिटरली ऐसा किया था कि भाई हमको स्टिच करके दो, भाई हमको ये करके दो. एंड दैट्स द वे हाउ वी गॉट ऑथेंटिसिटी, the budget controlling and everything. So it was again, you know, the research was very deep कि क्या पहनना है, क्या जाना है. The same thing when we were working for the कमठान के लिए भी सो मैंने अपनी टीम को भेजा कि बिकॉज हियर ऑल्सो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट 90s ना. अगर अभी 90s की बात करें तो वी फील लाइक कि अभी तो 90s गया, बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द फैशन वाज टोटली डिफरेंट. एंड वहाँ पे भी वो गांव दिखाना था, तो मैंने टीम को सारे गांव में भेजा कि 2 दिन मुझे ऐसे कपड़े, मुझे ऐसे फैब्रिक्स ला के दो जो सारे शॉप वाले ने फेंकने के लिए निकाल के रखे हो, विच आर लाइक लिटरली कि अभी हम वी कांट यूज़ दिस, वी कांट सेल दिस. वैसे फैब्रिक के मुझे स्वॉचेस ला के दो एंड देन यू नो विल वर्क ऑन दिस थिंग. सो आई थिंक कि कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट करे, रिसर्च इज़ द मस्ट for us, and the way we did is like always you have to go into the deep thing कि भाई इसमें जाओ, ये जाओ, कहाँ पे जा रहे हो, कहाँ पे हम तुम स्टिच करा रहे हो. इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट कि हाँ यहाँ पे अहमदाबाद में बैठे बैठे यू कैन डू. अच्छा, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि हमने जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स किए हैं, जितने भी सिटी की बात की है, जहाँ की भी बात की है, वी ऑलवेज आस्क प्रोड्यूसर कि हम लोगों को वहाँ पे भेज दो, सो दैट यू नो वी कैन डू रिसर्च, हम लोग वहाँ के लोगों को जान पाए एंड वी कैन क्रिएट अ कैरेक्टर.
Great. So behind every fashion there is a passion.
It is.
Yeah, that is
it
what
is.
I wanted to say. Yeah, great. So my last question before we come to the audience, my last question is that what are the tips you would like to give to the young entrepreneurs who are now trying to come into the business as an entrepreneur? So any tips you would like to give from your experience which you have?
I think we are also so young to give tips to the younger generation, but I think patience is the only thing. कल आके हम ये बदल देंगे, वो बदल देते, ऐसा कुछ बदलता नहीं है. यू हैव टू सेट द राइट एग्जाम्पल्स एंड यू हैव टू वेट फॉर द राइट टाइम. दैट इज द ओनली मैसेज आई थिंक.
Great, very inspiring. Yeah, Nikita.
So I think younger generation, they should focus on learning instead of earning, because most of the people right now I'm meeting, they are like कुछ नहीं आता है, कॉलेज से निकले, बट वी वांट दिस एक्स अमाउंट. नो, यू हैव टू, यू लिटरली हैव टू पुश योर सेल्फ कि मर जाएंगे तब तक हमें ये काम करना है. व्हेन यू विल लर्न यू कैन अर्न डेफिनेटली, बट बिफोर लर्निंग यू कांट अर्न, बिकॉज एट दिस एज और वॉट एवर द एजेस, आई थिंक लर्निंग तो कभी ख़त्म होता ही नहीं है. एंड स्टिल द जनरेशन, I'll not say कि everyone is like that, But though whom I am facing, like most of the people, 80% are like 2 महीने में मुझे सब आ गया है, now मैं खुद एक कॉस्ट्यूम डिज़ाइनर या फैशन डिज़ाइनर बन गई हूँ, and 2 months में they start working like anything कि अभी हो गया, मुझे सब आ गया. But I think मैं अपने सारे टीम मेंबर्स को बोलती हूँ, don't do that. After 32, after 35, start your own business, because I think your personal growth, your life experiences also matters a lot. It's not like कि तुमने study किया और तुमने शुरू कर दिया. No, I think काम से लेके personal life से लेके जितना भी experience तुम्हें मिलेगा उतना you can bloom out nicely. So I think please focus on learning.
Great. Yeah. Nikita, your last words.
So repeat the question.
The question was, what are the tips you would like to give to the young generation like you?
I would just say that you just have to start. I mean, see, ups and downs are going to come. Again, patience is the key. Your own mental balance, your own, not only yours, but also carrying people with you is important. And again, there's a saying that you can't make an omelette without breaking few eggs. So ups and downs will come. You have to face and you have to go through everything. But then ultimately the results will be fruitful. So you just have to begin.
Yeah, great, very good. So any audience question? Yeah, please. Don't ask what was the budget and what is your turnover and all that, right? Yeah, you can ask. Yeah. You want the mic? Or you're audible enough, you can.
Yeah, I'm audible, that's fine. So, I'm working as a senior finance executive at a company, Mighty Ventures. So, actually my question is, with my work, I have thought of starting something else. I have started working with a client, but one problem that I am facing is hiring good people, because I take project from clients, and it's been 4th time that I have hired someone to do work for me as a freelancer, and he left. He was agreeing with money and the work, but after 2 to 3 days when the work has to be given, submitted, he left. I don't want to disappoint clients like this, so it's been 4th time. So how to choose right people to work with?
Whom the question is for? I hope you're not doing a moonlighting.
No. This is for Ms. Shivangi.
Okay.
You have been working with HR. So. Yes, recruiting is a really challenging job. Initially, there was a time that I don't have to take the interview. Recently, we interviewed the CFO for our company. The initial first rounds of interview are done by me. So I have to interview a CFO, I have to interview the national sales head, and I don't know the ABCD of it. So what the trick to it is that you interview similar profiles of 4 to 5 people, and they only start teaching you the game. Like the first interview, you know how to ask 5 questions. In the next interview, after he has shared his inputs, you know how to ask 10 questions. So taking more interview is the only key. Yeah, I actually do that. But even after agreeing on everything, after some days when the work is to be loaded, to be done, to be submitted to the client, they're not ready with it either. Even if they are, so that is of very substandard quality. I can't give responsibility to them. I have to go through everything. I have to check and then submit. So that is
their
I'm
reference
not able to grow after that.
Their reference check and their previous past experiences matter a lot. Like for whom they have worked, how many years they have worked over there. And this is the typical case in hiring the junior resources. They are not reliable. I completely agree with her. They want to jump so quickly and they are not satisfied. Like they are not ready to spend 2 years in a company.
So
And without spending 1 year, you don't know the basics of the company. एक साल के बाद तो पता चलता है कि हो क्या रहा है. Or they want to change कि अभी मुझे सब आ गया.
So maybe I was making mistake here. I was finding college students to work for me.
No, they will not work.
See, if you ask me, however, I'm not supposed to answer, but with not much understanding your problem, but I could tell you that why don't you hire freelancers?
Yeah,
who are more experienced. Yeah, you should hire them.
Because I don't have a setup, I just take client's project and when the work is very extensive, I am not able to complete on myself, I have to hire someone. So then there comes a problem. They just leave in between or submit very substandard quality of work.
So stop moonlighting. Okay. Yeah, second question. Great. Thank you for asking the question. Yeah. There, back me.
Thank you.
My question is to Shivangi ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, I would like to congratulate for your recent IPO.
Thank you.
My question is that how does the company's operation change after the company gets listed? Like how does the management philosophy and all these kind of things change after the company becomes public?
No. The philosophy and the operations don't have to change after it gets listed. It has to be standard. Like the changes comes in the professional approach of it, that there are many statutory compliance that we have to follow, the documentation work. कि पहले जब जैसा चलता था वैसा ही चलता था, पर अब उसके लिए सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए कि एचआर की प्रोसेसेस पॉलिसीज़ है, तो अभी विदाउट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन भी वैसा ही चल रहा है. एवरीथिंग इज इन प्लेस, बट नाउ यू नीड प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन एंड प्रॉपर प्रेजेंटेशन. That is what gets added. The actual substance does not change after getting listed.
Thank you.
Yeah. You invested?
You also get listed one day.
No, you should invest. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
My question to all three of you. When you appoint a person in a lead role in your company, what you prefer? Emotional quotient should be high or intelligent quotient?
Intelligent quotient is a primary requirement, but without emotional quotient, there is no value for intelligent quotient. Emotionally, the person has to match with the company values and the company ethos. And especially the emotional quotient is majorly demanded in the HR function. कि अगर moral values नहीं है तो फिर कोई knowledge का कोई काम नहीं है.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
To all SHEROES, the most common obstacle faced by the women entrepreneurs is gender barrier. So, can you just give some sort of your experience, how you overcome these challenges? Because it seems to be most critical in today's world.
I come from a family where I have 8 brothers and I was the only sister. So I was always given a chance to speak up and share my opinion. And likewise, my in-laws are also very supportive, and mommy has worked in the factory from day one. So they are always welcoming my thoughts, my opinion. So I feel I'm very lucky to have a generous family. And also I feel that if you are a woman and if you are not asked for your opinion in some business matters or some critical matters, you have to also look into yourself. That પહેલેથી જ એવું હતું કે જ્યારે ગર્લ્સનું ગ્રુપ બેઠું હોય અને બોયઝનું ગ્રુપ બેઠું હોય તો I was inclined to sit with them because those topics used to attract me more than the female topics. So because of that, કોઈ અગર તમને પૂછતું નથી તો પહેલાં એ વિચારવાનું કે શું કામ પૂછે, તમે એ સબ્જેક્ટમાં ઇન્વોલ્વ છો, તમને એ સબ્જેક્ટ નોલેજ છે તો લોકો પૂછશે. If they don't ask you, then you don't have to feel bad કે gender equality છે અને મને નથી પૂછ્યું.
Great.
I think this inequality that we feel, I think so initially even I used to be concerned about this because my profession is such that you have to be on field and you have to deal with the laborers, and again coming back into the budget thing which was for the clients, so mainly it was a male dominated kind of a thing, and so initially even I used to feel that who's going to listen to me and who's going to, agree upon what my ideas are, because again ultimately it had to sum up upon some basic things of that. But then I think it is your knowledge only which sets you apart, and with that respect, and once you have that, I think so everybody respects that, and they do give ears to whatever you say. So it's just in our head that we think that there is some kind of an inequality, but I think so there's no such.
Great.
So I feel in our field, because I can say, as again my first movie, when there was a crew members of 100 people and I was the only woman on that field, and other 99 were men, and they all were like, you know, इससे बात करे कैसे? So it's not like maybe I can say कि I was also, you know, I was in the condition कि मैं कैसे बात करूँ, अगर मैं इस तरह से बात करूँगी तो कोई मुझे गलत ले लेगा, मैं ऐसे बात करूँगी तो गलत ले लेंगे. Then I was not talking to the people till 20 days. And I was like, इशारों में ही बात करो, ये और ये that kind of things. So I think after that people have started, like when I started talk to the people, so I feel they were taking me like they were like, ये तो लड़का ही है. So again they were like, you know, के so industry में who knows me very well, they call me दादा. So ये she is like निकी दादा है, इसको कोई मैम मत बुलाओ, इसको सर बुलाओ, and she is दादा. So here I feel, you know, it is all about your thoughts कि आप कैसे लेते हो. I have never, whatever the past experience was, it was not about again, you know, the gender equality. The thing was, you know, कि yeah, I couldn't sit there, their thoughts were different. Maybe those people were like that कि they were like कि हाँ बहू है तो ये करना पड़ेगा. But now, you know, after a point now, when I'm working with so many families, so many people, now I'm looking at to the world on my eyes, like different eyes. I think there is nothing like it कि यहाँ पे मेल होना चाहिए, यहाँ पे फीमेल होना चाहिए और समथिंग. तो मेरे लास्ट इंटरव्यू में मैंने वही बोला था, someone asked me कि अगर फीस नहीं मिलती है तो क्या सिर्फ तुम्हें ही नहीं मिलती है और तुम्हारे मेल कैंडिडेट्स को मिल जाती है. सो आई लाफ लिटरली कि नहीं, हम सब लोग भीख मांगते हैं कि हम लोग इसमें भी इक्वल है कि अगर नहीं मिली है तो किसी को भी नहीं मिली है. तो आई फील नाउ अ डेज इट इज़ नथिंग लाइक इट कि भाई मेल यहाँ होना चाहिए, फीमेल यहाँ पे होनी चाहिए. Again, our thing is always, of course, our industry is from full of the creative people and emotional people, because if you are not emotional, then you are not creative. So it is not about men and women, it's all about the creative people.
Also, I feel that women have an added advantage. In our company, there are field staff of around 600 to 700 people. So when I deal with them, women have an added advantage कि अगर राज ने कुछ बोला तो वो नहीं मानेंगे, पर मैंने बोला तो वो ज़रूर मानेंगे कि मैडम ने बोला है तो अब तक करना पड़ेगा.
तो राज भी मानता है.
So that is also an added advantage sometimes.
Yeah, good. So great. Any other questions? Yeah, final one. Yeah.
So to lead the business ahead, does a person need a mentorship from a person to lead it forward, or just the business instinct suffice? I would like to have clarity on this.
Mentor is an added advantage. You have to be lucky for that कि हाँ वो ढूंढने से नहीं मिलते, वो तो मिल जाता है. That is an added advantage. Business teaches you जो चीज़ आपको 10 साल में सीखने को मिलेगी, अगर वो mentor है तो वो 1-2 साल में सीखने को मिल जाए.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think we are through with the questions, and really I am glad that you all are here. And in fact, Shivangi is straight away coming from BSc, right, to Bombay to Ahmedabad. She just landed up here in the evening, and she's here. So that's what female entrepreneurs can also do, right? So a formal vote of thanks by Shruti, please.
Thank you all the panelists for being here, for sharing your thoughts and sharing your insights. I'm sure the session was very, very interesting. And what I could see is we have a diverse audience of, I think, all age and from all walks of life. Special thanks to Sanjay sir for ideating the series of this SHEROES and making it happen. I've attended, I think, all three, and all three were very, very insightful. For more updates and information, I request you to follow AMA social media handles on both Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And there is a feedback form lying there with you. Kindly help us always organizing such better programs every time. So help us by filling that feedback form. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.